Hey Gemini, I'm Lucy Ravenstone and welcome to my channel. So guys, I'm doing part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, go to part 1 first. This will be further insight to your part 1. Okay, so I did the recording for part 1 yesterday and I'm now here to do part 2 because I have mum life. So forgive me if the way I'm reading it is a little bit different. I don't know how this is going to work because I really wanted to do them consecutively, but here we go, working on what we can. Let's have a look. Let's see what's in store for you. Both of those two. That one and that one. That one's pulling up my finger. So Gemini, for part 2 for you, I feel like this could possibly sort of come across as a whole new reading. I will probably recall as I'm going, but I'm just kind of in this set where I kind of think this is probably just going to come across as a whole new reading for you. I'm just doing this little pre-warning because I don't know what to expect, but I'm feeling like that could be the case for you, which is kind of like a bonus for this month. But let's have a go. Let's see what comes up. So I remember this is the crossing energy from the Six of Swords, and then you had 2 extra cards below. So we have the Six of Swords where you are on a journey. I did feel like you're traveling somewhere or you're moving. And the next cards are the Strength card and the Knight of Swords. I feel like anxiety and kind of vulnerability with this. Let's have a look at the crossing energies that you have. Now you have 2 cards and they've actually come out like this. So I kind of feel like they're opposing one another. We have the Sun and we have King of Wands. So the Sun card, to me, let's have a look. So we've got crossing energy. To me, this is the passion. This is what's driving you to move forward, to move on from something. And the Sun card is literally life, energy, passion. It's kind of the drive we want, and it's towards a better way of doing things, towards a better life. And this is definitely resonating with the reading for you, Gemini, is I feel like you are wanting bigger and better. Now, this is in all areas of your life for me. I feel like this is what's driving you forward, is I feel like you feel this sense of change, and that's, you know, that's ahead of you should you make these changes for yourself and move forward. And this is what's driving you. Now, as I said, to me they felt like they were opposing one another. We have the Knight of Wands. Now the Knight of Wands is all about intuition and flowing, and again this is a fire card too. This excels passion as well to me. It is a wand, so that is fire, creativity, passion, but I mean, both of them are signifying the same. You've got this drive to move forward. Now, this one's kind of giving me more of a grounding feeling, whereas that one the Sun is giving me this push to move forward and go. This one's giving me more of a grounded, as in a desire for something not materialistic, but something more grounding, more kind of real. So I think that's where the drive, because the Sun is giving me kind of adventurous, and yet the Knight of Wands is giving me solidity. That sounds a bit better from what I'm saying. Something that's kind of concrete. I feel like this is like a move towards something like that. So you have this adventurous side of yourself that wants to do something out of the ordinary, wants to push yourself forward. But you are also wanting, on the opposite side of that, you're wanting something real, authentic, and something long term. And this is the opposing energies, because that adventurous is kind of like, I want this now, I need to go do something, kind of more rash, wanting that instant kind of gratification of movement. And the second one is happy to kind of work towards what she desires in the long term. And these are the energies that are influencing you here. And this is kind of what's putting you in this. So the next cards were the Knight of Swords even, and that Strength card. So you have Knight energy here in this area as well. Knight energy is, to me, very much movement and kind of I always call the knight the warrior to me because it feels more warrior. It means willing to fight, has the tools, that kind of push that's beyond taking those first steps. You're in there and you're willing to commit to it is the kind of vibes I get from the knight. And you have the two here. So with that sword and Knight of Swords and this strength, it gives me vulnerability. I do feel like this is making you anxious because it is it's moving from where you are right now. So it's kind of like this angsty, I need to go, but what if? And I do feel a bit of doubts here with this. But that's good energy to be in to create movement. I do feel like it's not going to stop you, and it is pushing you forward towards the next, which was the Page of Swords. And again, that was willing to move forward, willing to take a stance and learn what you need to. And I felt like you were ready to jump into something new, into that page territory where you're willing to learn and grow in a different area. What's influencing that is the Magician card. And again, this is a really great card. I'm actually loving part 2 for you, Gemini. I cannot remember fully if I loved part 1 for you, but part 2, I'm loving this energy right now. The crossing energies are really giving me something for you. Now this is action. This is the Magician. He is the master of his creations. He creates things from thin air. He is able to have foresight and take action. He doesn't kind of wait until things are right either. I feel like with the Magician is he knows when the right times are, and just moves with kind of the flow of the moon is kind of what I want to say. The Magician is all knowing, all seeing, in the sense of, and like as I'm saying this, it's not fully in alignment with the Magician card itself, but this is how I am visualizing it for you, so please take that into consideration. But I'm feeling like he's all knowing, all seeing, in the sense of like he knows when the right time is, he knows that it's the right time, and he knows what he needs to manipulate magically, you know, when you're casting a spell, and manipulating your life in a way that is good for you. I feel like this, okay, I'm going to delete some of that, is the Magician card. So the Magician for me, for you, and then I'm reading this as it's coming to me and not as just the Magician card. I do read my cards intuitively, so that's kind of how I read them anyway. But I want to just let you know as a disclaimer, that's how this is reading for me, is it feels like all-knowing, in the sense of you know when the right time to act is, you know what tools you need to use, you know that kind of what to manipulate in your life in order to get into a direction that you need to go. And it feels like an energy of literally knowing that this is right for you and intuitively growing here. The Magician is somebody who can manipulate reality into the way that he needs, and I'm definitely feeling that for you, Gemini. I'm feeling movement, I'm feeling this desire to make things happen. And you know, you've got Sun, Knight of Wands, and the Magician, and all of these are giving me action, they're giving me fire, they're giving me flow of kind of you're creating this. You are literally the key right now, and I'm loving it. You being the key as well is just coming straight through me as like you are in control. You are in this, in control of all of this. I was just checking the cards to see if you had the High Priestess in the previous reading, because you're giving me High Priestess energy of where you are literally manifesting the life that you desire. But I kind of just feel like it's not even to that degree, in the sense of this is how the universe is flowing. It's what it's kind of pushing you towards, and you are listening. You are intuitively listening and moving in directions that is in your best interest. It's amazing. Okay, 6 of Wands and that 4 of Wands. Now I can't fully remember what I said around these. However, reading them right now, it was kind of I felt like you were this kind of entity which had so many options to go in. When I say entity, that sounds kind of really weird way of explaining something, but it's like you are kind of this object that has many directions it can go in, and I imagine you as like a ball of light actually, and this ball of light can take any route ahead and it's going to lead you towards something great. It's going to lead you in the direction you're supposed to go. In saying that, that kind of means like, you know, really it's like you're walking out into a clean slate, because whichever direction you choose to go in is going to lead you to something fruitful, something exciting. I definitely get with that, as I said that, I feel like the choices that are going to lead you to something even greater are the ones which are more adventurous, so keep that in mind. Because I do see one option where, you know, you stay where you are. It isn't going to end badly. However, it's not going to be as great an outcome as the rest, which is interesting. And the Four of Swords, again, I did get this weird explanation with that, I believe, because I'm getting it again, a sense of you just kind of above something, or you heading towards something which is unknown, like kind of stepping into a black hole. It's risky, to some degrees, however, like what's on the other side is something beyond what you can see during this time, is the vibe I'm getting from that right now. And the crossing energy for that is the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands, she is a leader of creativity. She's creating she has created the life that she's in, the paths that she leads, and she's the one that kind of sees things. And this is how I'm going to read it for you. Kind of like sees when you're growing something like crops in a field and you foresee that the weather's going to be terrible. She kind of knows when is the right time to harvest her crop, and when is the right time to leave it in the ground. And that kind of vibe is what I'm getting from this. I feel like you are in this energy where you know when the right time to make the next steps are. You are the one that's leading your focus and driving your life right now. And I'm definitely getting that you are very insightful during this time. I'm loving that. Loving your reading, Gemini. I really am, and I can't stop saying that because it's giving me these passionate adventures. You know, before you go on a road trip and you're all excited because you know what's to come? That is the energy that I'm feeling right now. Okay, the crossing energy from that Four of Swords, where I feel like there's something above you. I feel like you're going in directions. Everything is pointing ahead of you as well. For me, I hate reading stagnant readings where it's like, come on, just take a leap. And yours is giving me directions so much. I'm loving it. Like, you're going places. Leading on to that Page of Pentacles, which is literally jumping into something, willing to explore the unknown, willing to kind of craft something, create something in your life. We have that King of Wands. So you have gone from the Knight to the Queen to the King, literally on this way. Your energy for the Wands, which is fire, passion, and creativity, you are for this, and that is exactly what I love. And for this to be an April energy as well, to be in that Aries energy, that's just the power we want, because Aries has this kind of spark which kind of can be reckless, okay, but when reckless is in a good positive way, because reckless is not really a great word and not a great thing to be in, but it's like restless, reckless energy. But when it has passion and drive within that energy, it really is like unlimited possibilities. It means that we can really spark up anything in our lives, and that's what I'm getting for you, Gemini. I'm getting this kind of energy where you are really in the best position to be making decisions for yourself. So the King of Wands, he's wise, he knows where he's going, and I'm definitely getting this foresight. I feel like you are seeing a vision, and to believe in yourself. You are so in tune right now with what's in alignment with yourself. You've got strength along this, and you had strength prior to this. You need to have strength. You need to access all that strength within you, and nurture your way in. The Strength card literally is a nurturing. It's have courage, have strength. And it is kind of, to me, when I read this card, the Strength card, it kind of makes me say, like, realize that your vulnerabilities, your anxieties, or anything that you feel that makes you feel like you're not yourself. I feel like the Strength card is there to sort of say, like, this is the time to nurture yourself through that, so you get past that energy. And this to me is what that is, by that side. It's don't allow those worries and those concerns or that anxiety, because it just feels like a tad bit of anxiety around this, because when things exciting happen, we can get a bit nervous. So don't allow the self-doubts, and just make sure you are nurturing that aspect of yourself if it does become a little bit more troublesome. We had Page of Wands reversed up here, so you literally have so many wands in this. It's so much like that, fire, crazy. And I am seeing them all as passion and drive as well. It's not even anything bad. Okay, so this was kind of taking a journey, looking back and worrying a little bit is what I'm getting now. I do feel this like slight sense of like worried what you might be leaving behind by moving forward. And then the next card was the Two of Swords, which I felt like keep your eye on the intended goal, keep a clear vision, even though you're not going to see the outcome necessarily. Keep a clear vision on where you're going, or just moving forward in general. And the energy crossing that is Nine of Cups. So this here, that is, I feel like the energy that is putting you in that spot, it is this Nine of Cups energy, which is all about happiness, and I get this sense of someone guiding you. I got that with that Two of Swords. I'm remembering that now, and as I'm looking at the Page of Wands and the Two of Swords and now this Nine of Cups, I am seeing that there is a guiding energy with you. This can be universal energy, and I do get that sense that you have that helping you and pushing you forward. And it does feel divinely guiding. But also I feel like you have support around you. You are your biggest asset as well. Definitely feeling that vibe. But yeah, you've got support, and I feel like you actually have a person or someone or people around you who will support you in the exciting endeavors that you're going. Kind of like if you need to lean on somebody, I feel like you will have that kind of, oh, go for it. Yeah, that sounds amazing. This is going to be amazing for you. I feel like you can get that support if you do lean on others. I'm getting that kind of wisdom there for you. Someone who can just help put your worries at ease. But I'm definitely getting optimism with that Nine of Cups as well. That feeling of just anything being possible. And that is what I'm getting through this reading greatly for you. From that Two of Swords energy to the Queen of Pentacles, so this was here, and that Seven of Swords. So here I got this aspect of you, again, I just felt like you are trying to hold on to something, but you kind of have these desires with that Queen of Pentacles. I feel like all that you wanted was this Queen of Pentacles. You really want to be in a better position than where you are now, is that kind of vibe. Along with, I feel like you are holding on to the wrong things with that Seven of Swords. I may have said something differently, but that's how it's reading to me right now. It's like holding on to something that you shouldn't be. Okay. So that Ten of Pentacles, that's Ten of Pentacles, sorry, because I'm focusing on the Seven of Swords. That Ten of Pentacles is what's driving you. This is, a Ten of Pentacles is really good. This is a kind of an all-rounder, great abundance card to me. It is basically all the desires of wanting everything for ourselves, and this is what the crossing energy is for me. On its own, it could be saying, you know, you're going to get those family times and all that, but because this is a crossing energy, I really feel like these all are for you. It's literally things that are driving you here. So I feel like what you are holding on to is something important to you that you need to let go of, whether this be, you know, leaving behind parents, loved ones, or moving on from a relationship, moving on from a friendship, or leaving all of that behind to go travel. I really feel like these situations can literally apply to different Geminis that may be watching this, because Gemini, I'm feeling all that, like that kind of apprehension of leaving something behind, and that's what you're holding on to. But this is, like, I feel like you need to understand that this is something you need to do right now, and it's only temporary. You know, when you're leaving people behind to go travel, it doesn't mean it's forever, or it could mean that, you know, what is ahead of you is greater. But I really feel like this is something that's influencing you, kind of giving you hesitations and making you feel more wary in the unknown. But do understand that, you know, it is a favorable outcome. Any direction you take moving forward is going to be really great for you, but realize staying still, and I really want to express that because that's how it feels for me, is like staying still is not going to be the best option for you, which is kind of crazy, because sometimes, you know, staying still can be a great thing, taking our time, but this is all about movement, and that you are being driven and pushed forward towards something greater than what's going on in your life right now. Ten of Pentacles reversed and the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So I did again get this sense of you being wary and wanting something more. This is what's giving me now. I cannot remember how I read this last column. I'm literally reading the cards as new, really. So this is probably further insight to the energies. Because I get this sense of you longing again for something loyal and long term, some kind of unity in your life that's going to bring you wholeness. I feel like this is what you're seeking out. And I can really relate to this. So I moved to Australia 9 years ago now. And when I left the UK, I was basically coming from next to nothing because I was having temp jobs and basically to save up to come to Australia, because I was in this kind of time in my life where I was leaving a long-term relationship. I rarely ever actually saw my family. The friends that I had were connected with that relationship that was kind of coming to an end. So I just know that I knew that by leaving that relationship anyway, I was going to be friendless because, you know, we shared friends and bro code and all that kind of drama. And I was just kind of in this place where I was like, what? Like, I'm almost 25, like, what's going on? So I decided to travel to kind of find myself. And I remember the week before I left, I was crying to my best friend in a pub and saying, like, my life is over. Like, I wanted to have family. I wanted to have kids. And I was nearly 25, and I was thinking, like, you know, I've got to meet somebody. I've got to get to know them. We've got to want the same values, and then we've got to get engaged, not get married, have kids. Like, if we do it all conventionally. I said, so that's like another 5 to 10 year plan. And I'm just jumping into this going traveling thing. Like, I just like, what am I doing? And I was getting all kind of worked up for myself. Now, this is an energy that I'm vibing for you. Like, obviously, this may not apply to you in the same sense if you're traveling is not your thing. But I am feeling that in this reading for some of you. And what I will say is, like, yes, I was an absolute mess before I came out. The second I got on the plane, like, I grieved for the whole year before I came out here. And when I got on the plane, I had this whole sense of freedom. Like, I no longer needed to grieve anymore. Where I'm going is going to be brighter. Like, I just had this massive weight off my shoulders. And from that point onwards, like, things fell into place. Like, I was married and pregnant. Well, actually, let's just say a year later, I was married and I had a baby. That's how quick things went. And like, now I'm in Australia as well, because like, I met somebody who wanted the same things I did. And it kind of just flowed like perfectly, because I made that commitment to change something in my life that I knew needed to change. And I started listening to my intuition and just started choosing me as well. And that is this energy that I'm feeling all up in here. So what is influencing you is like, yes, definitely, this is the Four of Swords. So this card is all about rest and recovery and taking the time. And I feel like this is you feeling vulnerable. I'm getting this vulnerability. And I feel like that's why I had to share that story with you. I feel like it's making you, for some time, I've been in this restful, kind of stagnant energy that I was just saying I hate doing readings about. That's what this feels like. But it feels like now you're coming out of that. This is you coming out of your shell. You kind of have a direction and a purpose now. And so I feel like you have healed, you're healing. And so you are now, I had this sense of wanting what was on the other side. Like, you're curious. And I feel like this is what's caused the curious, is like you have been in that hermit mode where you have kind of shut yourself off. Did I have the hermit with you? No, I didn't. Where you put yourself into this place of healing. Sometimes we stop in our tracks and we kind of go into a depressive, like it looks like to other people that we're depressed. But actually, like, as humans, we are supposed to go through phases where we don't do anything. We maybe binge watch Netflix, live in bed, eat all our favorite foods, and like, towards that signifies as depression in today's society. But this is actually just a natural cycle that we go through that gets us to stop, slow down, so that we can assess the situation we're in and realize what's right and what's wrong in our life and make the moves to move forward. And I definitely feel like that's what's influenced your curiosity here. I feel like you are coming out of that and your shell is opening. You have done your resting and you're growing in your egg and you're cracking it open, moving forward. Finally, we have that Two of Cups, and this to me is like, I think I remember saying that it's all that you wanted. I feel like this is meeting someone actually and coming together of something, even though it did, I believe, portray of something more than that. It's giving me a connection as well, heading towards that. And yes, the energy that's influencing that is Ace of Wands. It's just new beginnings, travel, and career and a change. So let's have a look what it actually is giving me for you. Yeah, it's just throwing new beginning vibes at me for you. But again, you have another wand. You've got all these wands. Once you take the leap from this procrastinating, and when you decide and make your decisions, because this is what's working in the workings right now, and you take that next leap, it is literally going to be starting again, starting afresh from it. That kind of fresh, clean slate vibe it's giving me. So whatever your venture forward, I mean, this is me, like, I'm all like, you know, if you're going traveling, this is amazing. But this could literally be dropping a relationship and coming out on the other side, and this being that opening up to something, a new beginning. I do get a sense of travel. I can't drop that. Even if it's literally going on a road trip, like I said, it's giving me this exciting vibe. Just change something, go somewhere, go on a weekend holiday. And I feel like the perspective, like when you return home or when you get to that destination, if you're traveling for long term, I just feel like this is going to be the new beginnings that you needed to see more clearly forward. But I definitely feel like you're going places where you cannot even imagine. That's why it feels like you are going into the unknown. It just feels like it's exciting. New beginnings means that, you know, that you're moving towards favorable outcomes because you are starting from a place that is kind of like a flower beginning to bloom, and that is the vibe I'm getting for this new beginnings. It's not scary for me. It's giving me all this like beginning to bloom vibes. I am envisioning literally, I don't know the name of flowers, but it's a massive kind of blooming. It has, like, you know, all those little tiny petals where they have millions and millions of little petals. I'm getting it. It's pink and it's opening up. You are literally at this stage where you are about to bloom when you jump into that next step and that next phase, that next chapter, whatever that may be for you. So thank you, Gemini. Thank you for being here. Please check out part 1 first. If you haven't, I mean, right there now, so I'm saying this at the wrong time. Sorry. Getting confused. But please comment below if you love this part 1 and part 2 thing, because I'm kind of vibing it. I don't know if this will be on par with your part 1 and part 2 read in the same way. I'm hoping they flow nicely. But again, like I said, I did this in 2 separate days. But yeah, thank you very much for being here, Gemini. I'll stop babbling on and I'll see you next month.